I'll start the questions, and I'll be timing your responses, and we'll be recording. Any questions?
What's your first name?
My first name is Bob.
Shoot, Bob.
Right. Name as many mammals as you can in 60 seconds. Ready? Go.
60 seconds. Well, how would you like that? How about alphabetical? Aardvark, baboon, caribou, dolphin, eel, hippus, fox, gorilla, hyena, ibex, jackal, kangaroo, lion, marmoset, Newfoundland, ocelot, panda, rat, sloth, tiger, unicorn, varmint, whale, yak, zebra. Now, varmint is a stretch, so is Newfoundland. That's a dog breed. Unicorn is mythical, eohippus is prehistoric, but you aren't being very specific now, were you, Bob?
Well, I'll try to be more specific. You ready for the next one?
Shoot.
Answer as quickly as you can. How old is a person born in 1928?
Man or woman?
Why?
Specifics, Bob.
Okay, one more time. How old is a man born in 1928?
Still alive?
If a man is born in 1928 and he's still alive, how old is he?
What month?
If a man was born October 3rd, 1928, and he's still alive, how old is he?
What time?
10 o'clock p.m.
Where?
Anywhere.
Well, let's get specific, Bob. I mean, if the guy's still alive, born in California, October 3rd, 1928, 10 p.m., he's 67 years, 9 months, 22 days, 14 hours, and 12 minutes. If he's born in New York, he's 3 hours older now, isn't he?
Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Is that too loud? No? It's good? All right. So welcome. I have a few other videos. Some of them are links here that you can watch. But that one in particular, I love to show to clients that we work with for the first time because we tend to ask a lot of questions. And we want specifics. So anyway, that's one of my favorite videos. So today, I'm going to talk to you about iOS widgets. iOS widgets are, you can't see them, but they're on my phone. There's two ones on my lock screen, okay? And they pull data right from FileMaker, okay? Little dashboard right on the lock screen. So I can pick up my phone and I can see sales. Every 15 minutes, they're updated. And I can also have one that is a little bit bigger. That's a dashboard. Okay, that's a dashboard right on my screen. I can press it, and it will real-time pull data from FileMaker and pull a chart. So if you have executives that you want to enable some information on the fly for them without having to log in, this is the session for you. Okay. So my name is Vincenzo Menanno, Chief Innovation Officer at Beeswax. Some of the things I like doing: traveling, architecture, sharp knives, parking backwards. Precision engineering, data visualization. I don't do as much these days in D3 or Tableau. I'm starting to get back into D3 again. That's been a while. And the other thing I spend a lot of time with is AI. So all kinds of reactions that we have with AI. I'm also the author of Inspector Pro. We released it for free this year. So you can download it from the Beeswax site and use it to gain insights about your solution. We are bringing some visualizations back to it that we used to have, so watch out for those. They're going to be very, very cool. It has, in this version 9, we added GitHub, GitLab support, actions and notifications, and much more. You can ask me about it, or you can do a search on YouTube. DigFM, I did a presentation on it. Quite long, so if you want to learn how to use the product or whatnot, you can look at that video as well. There's a blog at Beeswax that's very popular. A lot of people read it. We have a large team. We have not just FileMaker developers, we have web developers, software architects, IT people. And so there's all kinds of articles that are very interesting, and you can sometimes pick up something cool and new. And then if you ever want a change of heart, we also have we're always looking for talented people, and there's a careers page at Beeswax if you want to look it up and see what job openings we have. I have 2 kids. My son just turned 17. That's him at a dirt bike place. He rides a dirt bike. And my daughter, she is going to be turning 13. Okay, so I start off this session a little bit not typical. So one of the things I want to share with you is when you speak to your clients, one of the most important things that you can point out to them, or what you can point out, what you can bring of value to your clients is time. So time comes in all kinds of forms. And there's the Netflix CEO said on X one time, he said, "Sleep is my greatest enemy." So their competitors are Amazon, YouTube, and sleep. So that's how he puts it, right? So time is a really interesting thing that if you deliver a solution to your clients and it saves them time, it's a big value to them. So not this summer, but last summer, I was with my son and my family. We found ourselves in New York, and there was this place that sells Rivian. It's an electric car, and they had a place in New York so that we could test drive the electric car. So I said, let's go drive it. Let's go test it. So we sit in a store. We sign up for the experience to drive the electric car. And I tell my son, I say, look around you. What do they sell? Okay. This is on the wall. Okay. This is a map to a place where you can do some camping and all this. So looks around. He sees the books on the table. The Places You Will Go by Dr. Seuss, Costa Rica, the travel book. It's almost like you're at a travel agency or something, right? It's not a car place. So what do you think Rivian sells? Anybody have any ideas? No? Okay, Rivian sells adventure. They don't sell cars. They sell adventure. And if you want to buy or experience adventure, you buy one of their cars. How many of you ever listened to Simon Sinek? Yes? Okay. If you have not, after this session, listen to Simon Sinek. It's a great talk. It's one of the best talks on TED Talk or on YouTube. He talks about Steve Jobs, Martin Luther King, and I don't remember who else, but the way he frames how Apple sells products, is really, really going to transform the way you will pitch your services to a client, right? And so that's going to change the way you think about what you do for your clients. It's not what and how, but it's why. Why you want to do this. What's the benefit to you as a company, to you as the president or whatever. So definitely listen to his talk because it's a very good talk. Okay, so what is it that you sell? I used to love this expression, workplace innovation platform. Claris used to say that. But now, they don't say that as much, but I still like the term. So you sell, when you install the widget, and I'll show an example here. That's my phone on the right, picture of my daughter. You sell insights, actionable insights, agility to move quickly, oversight, get the big picture, right? So over here on the right, you will see the widget. I can invoke the widget by just speaking it and asking Siri, my sales dashboard, and it comes up right on my screen. So again, the benefit is I save myself time. I have something that is custom, like a dashboard, to install for your clients, and it has the information that you can customize as well. So really, really easy to set up. No need to open your laptop, hop on Wi-Fi, launch FileMaker, log into the system, find the relevant data, or run the relevant report. Insights are delivered when you ask, okay? They can live on your phone in different shapes and sizes, right? They can live on your lock screen, as you see over here. There's a widget over here. That's the size of it. There's this size. There's the smaller size. I don't know if you can see that all the way back there, but that's what they look like, you know. And it gives you the last updated date. And this is the timestamp, the last time it ran, and it runs every 15 minutes by default. You can also invoke it by asking Siri. But the ones on the dashboard, they update every 15 minutes. They can also live on your desktop. So this is my desktop here, and so I have a widget up here. You can customize them so you can actually pull data that you can send a JSON parameter, and so I can see my sales and I can see Fabio's sales. So I can have the same widget, but it's pulling different data based on the parameter that you pass into it. Okay, so place them. You can pass in custom parameters, and again, you can get specific data. Okay, so the agenda today is the scope and requirements that we need to add the widgets, how to see them, in action, the steps you'll need to take to get this to work. So the components are FileMaker, Claris Connect, and an app that you get on the App Store called Scriptable. So you can download that app. It's free, and there'll be a link to it later, you'll see. And there are example files that are already ready that have these JavaScript files already, so you can install these widgets on your phone already and get to use that. So. And plus, like I said, you can integrate with Siri as well. So I will talk about costs as well, and then we'll do a recap. So scope and requirements. So a dashboard is a visual representation of data that provides an overview of key metrics, trends, and insights at a glance. That definition comes from ChatGPT. This other definition, widgets elevate a small amount of timely, personal, relevant information from your app, display it where people can see it at a glance, and offer specific app functionality without launching the app. That comes from the Apple developer, the definition of what they call widgets. Okay, so, and that's a QR code to link to that documentation. There's unfortunately no way to do this natively in FileMaker. So FileMaker is wholly owned by Apple. You'd think that iOS widgets are something that Apple provides, but there's no way to do this directly out of FileMaker. Maybe in the future there will, but you have to use a third-party app to get this to work currently. Maybe there's another way to do this. I am not sure. So, okay. It's iOS only, but it can run on your phone, on the iPad, on the Mac. It requires iOS 17 or greater. It also requires the use of a third-party iOS app called Scriptable. Requires some knowledge of JavaScript, but these days, who cares, right? You could use AI. You could write me the JavaScript to do this, and you're off and running, so no big deal. FileMaker server with the data API enabled, and then Claris Connect. Those are the ingredients, okay, that you'll need to put this together with. So, okay, so first off, so this is something I like to do. This is my approach to innovation and exploration with my team. So I was going to give myself a new title called IBTD, International Business Exploration Development or Transformation Development. That's another way to say IBTT is I bring the donuts. So, so I have a talented bunch of people at my disposal, and I ask them to do things for me, and they do all kinds of magic. But the other thing I like to do is I like to take the time to explore what might be possible when new features come out. So, like, for example, when Perform Script on Server came out in version 13, it allowed us to step back and take new approaches to how we build solutions. Okay, so one example is the file-based steps, importing, and PSOS. If the combination of those three allow you now to run imports on the server. So you take some new things that are possible, you combine them together, and you say, hey, wait a minute, if I put an Excel file in this container, and then I run PSOS on the server, and I write that file out to a directory, I point the script to where the location of that Excel file is, I am now importing data on the server. And if ever you've imported data, lots of data, over a WAN, you'll know how slow that is versus importing it on the server. And this transformed a lot of workflows for different clients that we have to process hundreds of thousands of rows of data in like no time. And then we validate the data and then we put it in place. That's just one idea there, but it comes from the fact that there is new features, and you reevaluate those features in the context of like, hey, what about this feature with this other thing, and what you do with that. So now we have iOS widgets, we have Scriptable, and we have Claris Connect. So with those three things, you can do what I just showed you, which is you can install the widget on the phone. The widgets are pulling data from your FileMaker solution, and you can craft any kind of experience you want with it. Okay, and this is actually a slide that I loved the way Heather Winkle, how many of you remember Heather Winkle, right? So Heather Winkle was leading the design transformation at Claris when they introduced FileMaker 12, and her way of thinking and approaching things was like, hey, let's just discover what we can do. Let's not hold ourselves back. Let's just think big, and then define certain things that we can achieve, right? And then you do the same thing with when you start designing it. You try and open up the floodgates and see how much design you can do. And all this is in the context of scope and budget and all this. But anyway, Heather went on to do other things, but I always loved this way of thinking about things. So widgets in action. Again, they can surface data from FileMaker. They can come in different sizes. You can place them on your phone, your iPad, even your lock screen. They summarize information, and they provide actionable insights. They refresh every 15 minutes. And bonus, you can trigger them from Siri. So how to quickly add a widget. How many of you have added a widget already? Have you done that on your iOS phone? So here's a quick example of how to add a widget if you've never done it. You hold and press on the screen. It brings up the jiggle things. At the top left, you'll be a button that you can click Add a Widget, and now I just added a weather widget, okay? But you'll see how we can add another widget from Scriptable, so I can put it on my lock screen. Okay, so over here, I'll go look for Scriptable. I'll click on Scriptable, and now there's these widgets. You just drag them out. You choose this is, when it said script, it's not the FileMaker script, it's the JavaScript, okay? So don't get confused with that. And so there you go. I just modified my lock screen, and now I have two widgets on my lock screen. So easy to configure. This is the panel here. There's an optional parameter. That, again, this is not the FileMaker script, but the JavaScript that is inside the folder. Once you install the Scriptable app, there'll be a folder with all the JavaScript files. And then this is going to run that JavaScript, and then et cetera. You can put in some parameters and pass them in. Okay, so you can see a trend, dive into underlying data, click on the widget. So the other thing you can do is you can actually click on the widget, and that will invoke the running of the JavaScript, and it will deliver the insights at the time that you invoke it. So you don't have to wait 15 minutes for it to run. It'll run right then and there. So the parameters, the different options are, you can open the app, you can run the JavaScript, you can edit the JavaScript, or you can add an FMP URL. And so in that sense, if you see something and you want the interaction with the widget to actually take the user into the data, you can also do that. So, okay, so the steps to create it. So setting up the FileMaker file. This file comes with the example file that's on there. You put in a new password for it. The password, the blank password. There's no password when you open it, but it asks you to reset it, so you have your own password. You have to have this option enabled. You have to have the data API extended privilege enabled, and that's pretty much it. And then on the server, and create another account associated with the data API only privilege set. But on the server side, you enable the data API. Okay, and then the steps to connect to set up the Claris Connect flow. So I'll walk through here. You'll create a new flow. So this is the Claris and Engage demo. The first thing you'll do is you'll create a webhook, and then you'll use that webhook to wire it up so that you'll put that webhook inside the JavaScript. So you'll copy the webhook. And the other thing you need to do is you want it to be return a synchronous response. So that's set up. The next thing you do is you'll set up an HTTP incoming request with the webhook. You'll add an action for FileMaker Pro server. And there's another connect step for FileMaker. I haven't used the new one, but this should work with the new one and the old one. Okay, so once you fill in the server, the username, password, and the database, your next thing is you'll set up the parameters that you'll need to configure for that step, and then this is set up to return some of the parameters from the script that gets called. And so for every example, you'll need to figure out how much data you'll need to pull back, etc. Okay, so then you find the record, you reply with the JSON, and that's about it, I think. So you'll add one more utility step, and so there's two utility steps. There's the incoming HTTP request, and then there's a reply with JSON. So that's it. Now you move on to the scriptable app. You download the scriptable app. And the scriptable app is really cool because it has all kinds of features. We're just scratching the surface with what you can do with this app. Okay? So, and I tried to email, I forget his name, the author of the scriptable app. I never got a reply, but this app was really popular for people that do automation and shortcuts and all this. But it's been a while since he updated, so I don't know if he plans on doing anything more with it. So, okay, so the JavaScript files that come with it, they're not very big, but the only thing is that you'll have to do is insert your Claris webhook in here, and then save out the JavaScript files, and then they'd be ready to integrate with your file that you get and host on the server. Okay, so you put your webhook in here, you save it in all these files. There's I think 5 of them in all. Okay, and then you put them. I think by default it actually creates this scriptable folder in your iCloud drive. But anyway, that's where they would go, and then they're ready to use. So all these files go into this folder on your Mac. And then, again, there's bonus points if you integrate with Siri. There's a way to do it. So basically, in the scriptable app on the bottom left, it's kind of hidden. You don't see it. I don't remember now if I have a video of it, but I think this is it here, actually. In the bottom left, there's a little button. You ask it to create a shortcut, and it'll put a shortcut on your device, my sales dashboard. You can rename it, and then what you can just say is you press the button, right? And it invokes Siri, and then you just say run my shortcut or my sales dashboard or whatever, and that'll invoke the shortcut to run the JavaScript, and then you get your widget. So in this case here, I think I run it. I don't remember if I recorded it. But anyway, like in the beginning, you ask Siri to just run it, and then it'll run the shortcut, it'll trigger the JavaScript, and you'll get your widget. Okay, so there was some funkiness with the shortcut. If you have a lot of shortcuts, you have to be careful the names of the shortcuts. So that's something you have to explore. Okay. All right. So let's see if this is it here. Yeah. So I just speak what the shortcut name was, and then it runs the shortcut that triggers the JavaScript and renders the widget inside this little tiny window. Okay. There you go. We'll trigger the scriptable app. Okay, so there's also notifications, and the code is in the JavaScript that you can enable notifications. So like when you get a notification on your phone, it'll like the thing that shows up saying you got a new message or whatever. The JavaScript also includes notifications. So I don't know. I found it more annoying than useful, because again, you're seeing the widget, and it's up to you to explore, because every time it runs, you'll get a notification. And if there's really no change in the data, then you still get a notification. I think maybe there's some creative way with the code to maybe do something where you put an if branch or a logic around the notification to say if the actual data has changed, then show a notification. So that way, maybe it's more meaningful and valuable. Okay, so that's what a notification would look like, and obviously you can customize whatever it is that you want to show up in the notification. And unfortunately, because it's a notification tied to scriptable, you have the scriptable app that shows up as part of the notification icon. Okay, so that's where in the code is the notification, right? And again, you can disable it. Okay, so now moving on to costs. Okay, so I gave this presentation in the US in March, and so we're talking about dollars, but obviously here we're talking about euros. So the cost it's absolutely free. So the FileMaker steps, the utility steps, and Connect are free. And there's some caveat to that, and we'll see it in the next slide. Oh, I'm zoomed in. Am I zoomed in? Why is it cut off over here? Huh, that's weird. So for Claris Connect, this is something I guess I picked up from the Claris site, where it talks about the cost of these things. So anyway, you have to look into this, but if you have these kinds of licenses, okay, basically for these licenses, the Claris Connect doesn't come at any additional cost, okay? And then this was a change that happened earlier this year, so I don't know if it's changed again or not, but that was that one. And then the second question was, as a Claris Connect flow considered active in terms of licensing under the new model is anything that includes a third party or non-Claris owned service. So you do pay for those other services, but again, the utility steps and the FileMaker steps are free, okay? Okay, those don't count as part of the active flow. It's a little bit confusing, and I don't deal with licensing, so I'm not totally familiar with this stuff. But anyway, you can read up more about it here, or you can ask Douglas or Marie, who are here, if you can pin them down and ask them these questions. All right, so use cases. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, but I got AI to generate this image. But the use case is you're an ad agency that you work with, and you have a new ad to review. The iOS widget on your phone can tell you there's a new ad to review. You gotta get an answer. Sometimes we work with ad agencies, and the time frames are like, you have like 12 hours to get back to us because we need to move on to other projects, etc. So that's one use case. Clothing, maybe you have a clothing store. you're the manager of a high-end clothing store and want to have a dashboard that shows you the daily sales, so you can look at it and say how we're doing today. And so again, maybe for the owner of the business, might be really, really helpful and meaningful to see that data. Warehouse manager, you're responsible for overseeing operations within a warehouse. Anyway, there's all kinds of situations where you want to summarize data and present the data to managers and people like that. So you can put these widgets on the desktop, and you can have all kinds of use cases for them. Okay, so just to recap, again, they're Mac only. The ingredients that we talked about, it's FileMaker Server, Claris Connect, and Scriptable. Their time, again, is, going back to the very beginning, time is something really, really impactful. If you can save your client time, you're making a big difference, and they appreciate it. And if it's if it's something that you can deliver an insight for them that is actionable, even better, right? So that's a meaningful thing. So think of it when you're delivering your services. Get excited about the why, not the how, right? It doesn't matter to the client you're selling this stuff to. They don't care if it's using Scriptable or whatever. Those things don't matter to them. What matters to them is, like, what do I need to be aware of in my business that I need to take action for? So why would this be a benefit to them, okay? The costs, again, we covered that. Your FileMaker license is all you need, basically. Again, Scriptable is free, easy to set up, and there are many possibilities. So I'll leave you with some other things that I find inspiring. I read this book by Ed Catmull, who was, I think he was the I don't remember now, the CTO or the CEO of Pixar. And one of my favorite quotes from him is, always take a chance on better. And people think I'm crazy sometimes because I start over, I try new things, and it's like, always take a chance on better. Even if you fail, you learn something, okay? So one time we had a project with a client, and we thought, like, oh my God, execute SQL, it's gonna be so cool. And we tried it, and incremental improvements, but in the end, it wasn't enough of a change that we reverted back to not use it. But in the end, we still had the trust of the client. When something else came along and we tried it that made a bigger difference, they were really, really happy. But if you don't take a chance, you'll never know. So always explore, try new things. And then another thing that I like to teach my kids, and this is, I guess it comes from this mindset, maybe more so in Japan, but in professional settings, especially in tech and software engineering, it's used as a guiding principle for good code hygiene and maintenance. Leave the code base or system better than when you started working on it. So leave things in a better state than you started, right? That's a good mentality to have. And it's also good in case you have like some psychopath killer who comes after you and looks at your code and can't understand it and knows where you live. So you don't want that. And this one, my favorites. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So think about that. It's one of my favorite things. I like to tell my kids that. And it's a little bit like, if you have a habit of, just throwing things and not paying attention to things, the way you do that one thing is reflective of the way you do anything else. So have intentionality in the way you treat others, the way you treat, the way you do stuff. It's reflected in all the things you do. So it's a really good way to set a time, like a frame of mind. And yeah, that's my contact info. I think I'm done early. I can talk about other things. I can answer questions. And let me get a microphone here. So hold on. This is, the what? Oh, just a button. Okay, so, yeah, button. The bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to hold it like 2 seconds.
Oh, 2 times?
2 seconds.
Oh, 2 seconds. Oh, there you go. Okay, there you go.
So I missed in your presentation the way the widget looks, like do you get a bar, or that's the JavaScript?
There's some HTML code in there,
Yeah.
and they have specific sizes. You can't go beyond the size
Yeah.
because they fit in.
In the box. basically.
Yeah, like the box. There's like a rectangular one. There's a square one. On the iPad, you have an even bigger one, so you have like 3 or 4 options, and they're very fixed sizes. But again, you can design the look anything you want. You can make a big number, like this is these are cases that are new cases today. So you can put anything you want in there, but you have the size is a limiting factor.
Yeah, okay. And are there examples already in there?
Oh yeah, they're already there's five files, and there's one for each of the sizes.
Yeah.
And it's pulling data from the JSON that comes back from the script. And so you can tear it apart and figure like, okay, I don't want to return 100 records, or I want to return just 2 records or whatever. So you can play around with that and tie it into your file, okay?
Great.
Any other questions? Yeah? Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. Any other questions? No?
Well, it's just a remark. Like you said, it's a bit of a pity that in the Apple ecosystem it's not implemented.
Yeah,
For
I mean, I
FileMaker.
mentioned it. Who did I mention it to? I mentioned it to Lucy. I said, hey, it's a shame that, like you guys don't have a direct integration to say, place widget, or, like some creative way to say, give me a widget for this action or something. They have, you can donate a script to Siri, but you cannot create a widget without using these tools. And, again, you have the ability with Claris Connect to generate the webhook, to trigger the action from the iOS system that sends out a request to say, do you have any notifications that you want to refresh or whatever? But unfortunately, there's no native way in FileMaker to do it at this time. Maybe in the future there will be. So
Yeah, it will pose two I would say, problems. Like you mailed the developer of Scriptable and you didn't get an answer. So how long will the app, this product be supported?
Yeah, that's true too. But I'm sure creative people might find a way to get around that. Maybe there might be some other ways to do that without the Scriptable app. But I don't know right now. We haven't
And of
explored
course,
that.
if you are you want to put this widget on an executive's phone, you need to install everything.
You need to take the executive's device and say, here's Scriptable, don't touch it, like you put the files on their system. So it is a little bit fragile. It's probably not great, but there's that to consider as well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Any other questions? Yes, Klaus?
Well, can you start all over again? No, about the installation. Like this is very fragile. So, how practical is it in real life? Have you installed that?
Yeah, I mean, I have it on my phone. I have it
on your phone, but for customers.
Yeah, I mean, on my phone.
No, not on your phone, on your customers.
No, but I know. But what I'm trying to tell you is, on my phone. I'm on Wi-Fi, it works reliably, but I have some problem with T-Mobile not giving me access. We're here in Europe, so when I'm out of the hotel and I'm not on Wi-Fi, I don't get, the widget refreshing. But and then there's other situations like special networks if your data is behind a VPN or something like that. But so on the device, like I said, you have to install those components on the client. But for the client, it would be the same experience that for me. Like once I installed it, this has been on here for 6 months. I've never touched it. So.
Okay. Is there another way of deploying?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
No.
Use a device management software for your
Oh yeah.
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 and you could automatically push this to any
Okay.
You wanna like if you're gonna do the one where you have this is Fabio's sales, but I can do another widget and I can put the parameter in there.
Sure.
You want to do that parameter that is kind of obfuscated because you don't want someone to say, I want to see Susie's sales, right? Just go in there and they know how to go into JavaScript a little bit, maybe change the parameter for this widget, right? So you want to make it so that it's a little bit harder to do that. But anyway, the executive, if their executive is doing that, they have too much time on their hands.
Totally. But you could manage that with privilege sets in FileMaker. Privilege sets.
Oh,
in
yeah,
FileMaker, right?
Yeah.
So you can limit it's not Susie's.
Yeah,
numbers,
exactly.
but-
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Okay.
Any other questions? Yep. Oh, okay, good. Thank you. What time is it? We're about 15 minutes early, eh? Something like that? I mean, I could stay and talk about other stuff, whatever you guys like. If you guys want to take a break, you're fine to go. I'm not going to keep you. Thank you. Thanks.